Hi, you've reached me at my sewing practice, and my name is Kathy, where I have a channel where I talk about sewing 85% of the time, and the other 15% of the time, I just talk about lifestyle. And of the sewing content, I talk about garment sewing about 85% of the time of that. Now, today's video is going to be garment heavy. And I'm going to start by showing you my fall tops box that I had put away last year. And we're going to go through it together for the first time. And then after that, I will tell you what I'm going to take out of the box and where I have some holes that I'm going to replace. And then, just like magic, I replaced them. Yeah, I had a busy sewing week, so I have a couple of makes for you also. So stick around to the very end and feel free to smash the like and subscribe button throughout the video whenever you want to. And I will see you after the little clip of me opening the box. So the next thing I thought it would be fun is that since we're going into autumn, I thought I would get my autumn clothing box out. And I've not gone through it, and we could look at it together. So I have it on my lap here, and let's see what I put back earlier in the year that I thought I would use for fall. Okay, so the first thing I have on top here is a double brushed poly top. I did this sleeve design myself. What it is my favorite tee, which is the Plantain by Deer and Doe. And I sized it up one because I wanted it just to be loose because it's kind of a fitted tee, you know. And then I did a sleeve hack and just finished the end of the sleeve. But yeah, I try to resist having too much polyester in my wardrobe other than athletic clothing. But double brush poly is so cozy. So although I do not want to overdo it just because of the life of a fabric, you know, you should consider that when you purchase fabric, or at least I like to. And this polyester will stay in the landfill, you know, longer. But anyway, I indulged and got that. Okay, the next thing up is a scarf. Oh, I remember. This was a big scarf and I cut it down a little. I think. I probably got it at J. Jill. I think that I got this at the end of the year and I haven't worn this yet. So that'll be fun, fall colors. And that's cool because it kind of marries the cool tones of mauve and the warm tones of tan and rust. And there's two fabrics in this scarf. That's the center one. So it looks like it's a square. That's what makes me think I trimmed it down, because I think my friend was giving me advice that squares, anyway, we talked about squares. Oh, and then here's another scarf. And as you know, I've kind of started embracing this color. I actually got this though in 2017 in Florence, Italy. And yeah, I like that scarf. I find that sometimes monochrome is good because it just, you know, it's not as hard to pair with things. Okay, next up is a cotton top that I made 2 years ago. And this is a camp shirt pattern called the Paloma. I couldn't find a camp shirt when I wanted it, so I actually had to get it through this pattern company called SBCC. It stands for skinny bitch something. I forget what. Oh, something to do with petites. And I'm not petite at all, but I tweaked this pattern so much that it's like my go-to camp pattern because, you know, I've done all I need to do to make it good for me. And I just sewed up this version. It's a beautiful autumnal thin cotton. Probably a lawn. It has, let me see some details. Okay, yeah. It has, on the back, it looks like it has two pleats no, one big pleat in the back, a box beat pleat. And there's not a yoke in the front. There's a little bit of gathering on the top of the sleeve, which is what I like, but that is part of the pattern. And then because I didn't put on the collar, I just finished it with bias. And that was part of the pattern. That was one of the versions. Okay, next up, we have another double brush poly. And I actually think they still sell this one. And it's just a plain scoop neck long sleeve top. Again, it's a plantain and it's a Joanne double brush poly. Okay, this is a thicker cotton and it's the same pattern as the other camp shirt I just showed you. So, but it has more muted tones, which is good for the fall. Oh, okay, so this is just a plain tee I got at H&M when I was traveling because I needed another one. That was on my Croatia trip and they had an H&M there. Oh, this was cool. The See You at 6, I endeavored to buy some fabric from them last year, but I didn't quite buy enough or something. So I just kind of self-drafted a vest. But again, it's a nice, beautiful, this time it's a French terry knit loop back, but it has the coordinating ribbing. Oh, it looks like I finished the side seams kind of nice. I opened them up and then I used my cover stitch so that there's seaming on either side of the side seam. Next up, okay, this is an H&M striped rib top. And don't tell anyone, but I got it like discounted, but it was because it was the maternity top. This is just a travel hoodie. And we went on this trip last year. It was just a trip of a lifetime, so I'm sorry if I bring it up too much. But anyway, the only time we had inclement weather was in this like beautiful waterfall area. It was just chilly and kind of a wet chill. And I just wanted a long sleeve t-shirt and they didn't have any, so I had to buy this hoodie. And it was kind of early in the trip, and the bad thing is then I had, of course, put this in my suitcase for the rest of the trip, and I packed extremely lightly. We were away for a month and all I had on was a carry-on. So many times I'm like, ugh, because I couldn't wear it after that because it was gorgeous out. But I now have it, and so I have a hoodie. This is a J. Jill top I've had for a long time, and it is I guess you would call it an Arietta pawn tee because it is a pawny, but it's on the top. And I just like the style lines, and it has these two ties. I really have thought a million times I need to mimic this pattern because the way you just have these two ties and then you just kind of tie it to the side, and it's kind of flattering. So I've had that in my wardrobe for a long time. This fabric I bought on Black Friday last year from Style Maker, and I made a sweater. And oh, I know what pattern this is. This is the Itch to Stitch. I don't think I'm going to remember the name of the pattern, so I'll put it on the bottom, but it's the one that has the almost square but not quite square. You know the one is, it's not the Foz, because that was the one that was the button down. I can't remember the name, but anyway, that's what this is. But then I took the sleeve from a little Lizard King pattern, I think called the Styla, that's like basically a bishop sleeve. And I put it on there so now it's got more of a dramatic sleeve. And again, this is a sweater knit that is from Style Maker. I can't remember the fiber content of it, but yeah, that's got fall colors. And then last up, it's the same pattern, that Itch to Stitch that I'm not remembering. It's a raglan kind of square knee. And I did it in a holiday fabric. And I got this at Style Maker too. So that's what I find is that I want to wear the fall colors to like December 1st. And then December 1st hits, you do Thanksgiving meal, and then December 1st hits, and you find that all of a sudden you want to go to like your cranberries, your reds, your greens, and your blacks, and your sparkles, I guess. And then you do that until like January 1st, and then all of a sudden you just automatically want to shut that down and do something else. So. Okay, so I was pretty happy with looking through that box. I decided to retire the H&M striped tee. I just don't like the way it fits. And then the J. Jill top, I just don't go for it. And I think maybe the color's too cool for me. I'm not sure, but it just doesn't really jive into my wardrobe. So I'm going to get rid of both of them. Now, the thing is that I established right away that I need long sleeve basic t-shirts. And I'm already needing those before I even need a jacket, which I've already made. Because when I get up in the morning, sometimes I just want a little something on my arms. So I made 2 t-shirts, and I'll tell you about them. I used the Love Notions Tidal top pattern, and then I made it as is on the first one, except for that I brought up the neck to be the exact same neck as the top I have on. And the top I have on is the Stellon tee. It's by French Navy Patterns, and it's a recent make. I just made it and talked about it in my last video. So if you want to go back there, feel free, but stick around to the end of this one first. Okay, so the first fabric I used was a cotton spandex. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a viscose spandex blend. And for the neck, I used a self fabric. And because I used a self fabric, I went ahead and sewed down the seam allowance so it wouldn't flip up. And I made it exactly as the pattern calls for. And the pattern goes from XX to 5X. And I made an L and graded out at the XL for the hips, which is my, my typical. Now, this pattern, when you look at the line drawings, you might wonder if it has like side panels, and it does not. It just has a back that wraps around to the front. So they're not princess seams or anything. It's just the back piece wraps around to the front, and then the front piece is narrow. It's only this wide. So I like this top a lot. I've already worn it a little bit, although I have to admit I've only made it. Well, I guess I haven't worn it because I only made it yesterday. I wore the other one last night. So I just made this yesterday. I made 2 tops yesterday. So that was like, I usually sew like an hour a day, and then I focus more on just like how much time I have to sew each day, not like my productivity. But yesterday I set aside a day and I sewed all day. So that was really fun. So I got 2 tops done and some other things. But anyway, so that's my first top. And then the second top is this top that I'll show you right here. And that's the IC fabric that I had purchased just recently. And I'll give you the details. But there's also a bonus offering. So whoever comments first, I will send you a coupon code for a free yard of fabric. Yeah, it's like a $20 value, and it's totally free, but they gave me the coupon code to give you. So I decided instead of just messing around with it, whoever comments first, I'll just give it to you. Okay, so then the other thing I've been sewing on is my husband's coat. It is a slow coat sew, and it's the September coat. So my progress on that was I made the unwearable muslin in this sheet that I got for $1 at the thrift store. And then I took out the back a little bit and made the back a little bigger. And now I have totally cut out the lining pieces and started sewing the lining. And I had this gorgeous lining in my stash, which I knew I had, but I didn't think I had enough for the entire coat, and I do, so that was great. And then I've almost completely cut out the front. I've been doing a little, excuse me, this is the fabric I'm using for the, and I washed it. It's that monk cloth I showed you. I decided to wash it, and then I just drip dried it. It's a cotton, so obviously you can wash it, but with a coat, you're never sure, like, are you just going to go forward and dry clean it? But I went ahead and washed it, and then, of course, now it's got a little bit of a crinkle to it. So um, it is what it is, I guess. But anyway, I'm real pleased with it. I also ordered buttons. I've got the buttons in. And so, yeah, I'm just chugging along on it. And like I said, I'm in no hurry, and it will get done when it gets done. Now, as far as my closet goes, I like almost had like mourned my summer closet. I've enjoyed it so much. And I hated to take out the couple things I've taken out so far. So I think I'll just be gradually taking them out instead of doing a big closet switchover. But then, of course, I've been putting in these new things, and I like to keep my closet at about 30 to 33 items on the rail. So I just have limited space. So when I put something in, I pretty much have to take something out. So I put in some of the items that I unboxed, and then I have to put in these 2 new teas I made. The other good thing about the teas is that this neck is the same, and so I can layer it under it. And that was part of the reason I did that. So anyway, so those are my basics, obviously. And then we'll just see what I, want to do next. I have been wearing the glissando shorts that I made in a harvest, kind of like a gold color like this, and then also a rust color. Well, I've been wearing those like on quick rotation. And as a matter of fact, I can wear them 2 days in a row because they're bottoms. And then what I'll do when the cold weather comes is I'll go ahead and make the pants. I've got it already. I just didn't want to make them yet because I wanted to wear the shorts to just ensure that I have the fit correct. So that is my video this week. Again, thank Jen for setting up the YouTube hashtag Friday Sews. We couldn't do it without you. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.